The NBA playoffs have finally arrived. The Hornets and the Warriors unfortunately lose the play-in game, which means that the Suns and the Magic are in the playoffs. And 4 game 1s were played last night. Let's get into it all. My name is Levi Jacob, and this is the daily basketball recap in 15 minutes or less. Game of the night, the Los Angeles Lakers beat the Houston Rockets 107-98. No Luka, no Reeves, no KD. Still no Fred VanVleet, but that's been the whole season. Lakers, though, absolutely dominated this game, 60% from the field, 52% from three-point range. Luke Kennard contributing in a major way, 27 points for him, a 5 of 5 from three-point range for this game. Awesome. He's really been such a huge addition for this Lakers team. This is his career playoff high. It's also his second most points. LeBron had 19, 8, and 13 in this game. He did it all in 60% shooting, and this is year 22, just as a reminder. DeAndre Ayton actually ended with 19 and 11, so it was a pretty good game for him as well. 8 of 10 shooting. Houston, from the field, shot just 37.6%. Şengün, 6 for 19, really not great. Shepherd, 6 for 20, and they just really missed KD all over the place. Offense, defense, it doesn't matter. They didn't do a very good job overall as a team. Next, the Minnesota Timberwolves lose to the Denver Nuggets, 116-105. This is a really fun and close game down the stretch. It ended basically in the fourth quarter when the Nuggets started to get real separation. Really physical game. 42 fouls overall, which is crazy. Jokic at some point had a bloody nose. Jaden McDaniels at some point also pushed Jokic after the play. The Nuggets coach got a tech. There was flagrants thrown around. It was nuts. It was totally like there's a lot of history here, a lot of frustration on the Timberwolves' part because they just couldn't get the succinct offense together. Anthony Edwards kind of still looks like he's playing hurt. And Julius Randle was just nowhere to be seen. It was really like a negative effort. Rudy Gobert, though, did a very good job. They actually got Aaron Gordon to have 3 fouls before the half, so he had to sit out a lot of the first half. Jamal Murray scored 30 in this game. Very nice game from him. He was 0 for 8 from 3, but 16 of 16 from the line. Make sense. But overall, still a nice game, persevering. Jokic, through I think the first half, I believe, had like 6 points or something like that. It was crazy. He ended with 25, 13, and 11, of course, because it's Nikola Jokic, but he kind of let everybody else fill in. Aaron Gordon, 17 and 8, but his defensive pressure was so important for this team. The Wolves were actually up early. They were just playing as a team together well, but then Jokic got that nosebleed, and he made sure that the Nuggets took over from then on. As I mentioned before, Anthony Edwards had 22, but again, he still looked like he was staggered. Things were not falling for him. It wasn't a pretty game. Christian Braun actually really needs to work on that jump shooting. He had a lot of wide open looks that he either didn't take or did take, and then they didn't go in. But he was shot 40% from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, but he was wide open a lot. At certain points, Don DiVincenzo actually was hitting some shots. It looked like he got stuff going, but then no close but no cigar. Nothing really developed from it. Next, the Cleveland Cavaliers beat the Toronto Raptors 126-113. This was not really even close, if I'm being honest with you. Donovan Mitchell had 32. 9 straight series openers with 30 plus for him. That's pretty crazy. That's an NBA record. Cleveland shot 54% from the field and 50% from 3. That's pretty dominant. James Harden, 22 and 10. He passed Larry Bird for 13th all time in career playoff points. Really nice, James Harden. Max Strus off the bench had a very impressive game as well. 8 of 10 shooting for 24 points. And he sparked a 27 and 9 run that just blew the game wide open. RJ Barrett had a solid game with 24 points, 7 of 13 shooting, 3 for 6 from 3. Jamal Shead also had 5 of 6 from 3-point range. Ultimately didn't really make that much of a difference. Scotty Barnes also had 21 and 7, but he had 5 turnovers. This is not the Raptors that we saw earlier in the season. And I'm interested to see if they can even bring out a secondary version of themselves to kind of separate this and what we know them to be. Maybe the most important storyline-wise game of the first round. The New York Knicks beat the Atlanta Hawks 113-102. They looked closer to themselves, which is exciting, I think, for Knicks fans. Like, they looked really not bad at all. This is standardly, in the worst version of the Knicks, this is how you want them to play. They just knew who was doing what, and they were turn up the aggressiveness by about 25%. It looked better. It really did look better. Brunson had 28 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 9 of 22 shooting. I don't mind it. Keep shooting. You're the star player. Keep doing it. It's not going to be perfect. I don't care. Karl Anthony Towns at 25 and 8, 4 assists, 3 blocks for him. He was to his credit, he was aggressive on defense. He was trying to be aggressive on offense. He wants to win. They want to win. OG Anunoby had 18 and 8. Josh Hart 11, 14 and 5 with 3 steals, 4 of 8 from the field. Really nice game overall from the Knicks. After what's been kind of like a wavering time, they were tied. Oh, they were down by 2 they were up by 2 at the half. And then the second half, they just managed to overcome. CJ McCollum had 26 points for this team on 11 of 20 shooting. Jalen Johnson, 23, 7 and 3 on 8 of 19 shooting. Onyeka Okongwu had 19, 8 and 2 assists, 6 of 9 shooting. And Nickeil Alexander-Walker had 17, 1 and 4. The stats for this game for him don't look as good as actually he played. He played much better than what it looked like. The Knicks had to play defense on him because he's become a threat. And defensively he was locked in, but it's a team effort, as basketball is, and they did not win. But it was a well played game on both sides of the ball. And I'm impressed by the Hawks that they came out with so many people who have such a lack of playoff experience to still play this way with such certainty as a new team. Like most of these people were not together on this team in this arrangement, even a year prior, and they really came through. I'm very, very impressed with what they put up, but ultimately I'm more impressed with the fact that the Knicks played a style of basketball that we know the Knicks to be closer to. The home teams were 4-0 on day 1. Let's see for day 2 what that looks like. Tonight, Philly at Boston, which is going on actually right now as I film this. Phoenix at OKC, Orlando at Detroit, and Portland at San Antonio. I think that it's very possible this is going to be the records of these teams tonight. I think this is going to be how it goes. I do think that Boston will beat Philly. Boston has too much of a chip on their shoulder. I don't think that Embiid is playing because of the appendectomy. I think that Boston will win this first game. Phoenix at OKC. This is the game that I'm most nervous for as an OKC fan. Of course, with your favorite, you're always worried about what they're going to do. And OKC is the kind of team that we saw last year, for example, with the Timberwolves and with the Pacers. When the other team comes out hyper aggressive and they try to punch you in the mouth, sometimes they get you. But I think that this year, OKC, specifically in this series, I think that Phoenix, they're not going to let them do what they did last time or last year at the very least. Jalen Williams is also playing. I have faith in this Thunder team to take this series 1-0. Orlando at Detroit. Cade did not get so many reps. I do think that it will be a very close game tonight, Orlando and Detroit. I think if Cade is up to it, it's very likely that Detroit will win this game. Obviously, the 1 seed versus the 8 seed, but this could be an upset tonight. It could be 1-0 on the other side. Portland at Spurs. The Spurs are going to want to make a statement. It's going to be 1-0. I think the only one that could be that the road team wins tonight, I think could be Orlando and Detroit. Aside from that, I think it's going to be the home team in most of these games. That was your daily basketball recap in 15 minutes or less. I want to thank you all for watching and listening. Tomorrow, we'll be right back at it. I'll let you know how many of them I got right, how many of them I got wrong. And I hope that you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow.